Hello and welcome back if you're returning. If you're new, I'm Steph, and today we'll be moving through a 20-minute hip opening flow. We'll get started seated. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open wide like a book. And just have a bit of a play with whether you'd like the feet in close towards the pelvis or whether you'd like to take them a little bit further away. Catch a hold of the ankles. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, and let the shoulders drop away from the ears. Taking 2 rounds of breath here. Long, deep breath in through the nose. And long, deep breath back out of the nose. One more like that. Deep breath in through your nose. And back out through the nose. You might like to stay with that rhythm of breath, slightly longer, deeper breaths than you normally would take as we start to find some movement in our bodies. Keeping the hands on the ankles, start to rock from side to side here. Just shifting your weight from one sit bone to the other. And when you next come over to the right side, we'll stay. It's that right forearm that grounds down into that inside line of the leg. Release your left hand from that left ankle. Place it on the inside of the left knee and press the left knee down towards the mat. Take a deep breath in here. And a deep breath out. Let's come back to our rocks. Left hand back to that left ankle and rocking side to side. When you next come over onto that left hip, we'll stay left forearm into that inside line of the leg. Right hand releases to the knee or to the inside of the thigh and encourage the knee down towards the mat, away from the body. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. That's it. Release right hand to the ankle. Take a few more rocks side to side. And then from here, we'll make our way into a tabletop position, bringing our hands and our knees to the mat. Your hands spread wide when you come into your tabletop position, shoulders stacked directly over the wrists and our hips stacked directly over the knees. From our tabletop position, let's take 3 rounds of our cat and cow, moving with our breath. As you begin to inhale, start to let your belly button lower towards the mat. Tilt the sit bones up to the sky. Lift the gaze. Exhale to press the floor away from you. Round through the back. Draw the chin in towards the chest. 2 more with your breath. Inhale. Draws the belly down towards the floor. Look forward. Exhale. Press the hands down into the mat. Round the spine. Chin to chest. Last round here. Inhale, coming through our cow pose. Exhale to find our cat. Come back to meet in a neutral tabletop position. And then let's make our way into a child's pose. Bringing the big toes to touch. Hips go back towards the heels. Reach your hands out in front of you and let the forehead come down to find the floor. Reconnecting to your breath here, and let's enjoy 3 rounds of breath here in our child's pose. In through the nose, out through the nose. 2 more just like that. Long, deep breath in. Deep, long breath out. 1 more round of breath. After you finish that 3rd round of breath, looking between the hands, slowly lift the chest. Bring yourself back into that tabletop. Knees come underneath the hips. And from here, we'll find a downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees away from the floor and take your hips up and back behind you. We'll start to pedal out through the feet here in our downward facing dog, taking a deep bend into that right knee. Lift the right heel away from the mat as you straighten the left leg and send your left heel down towards the floor. Changing sides. Come up onto the tippy toes of your left foot. Let your right heel lengthen down towards the mat as the right leg straightens, bending into the left knee. One more other side. Come right up onto the right tippy toes, lift the heel away from the mat, bend into the right knee, lower the left heel down as you start to straighten the left leg. Changing sides, coming up onto the ball of the left foot, bending the left knee, straightening through the right. Let the left heel lengthen down towards the mat, both heels of the feet reaching towards the mat, bending into the knees as much or as little as you need to. Take a full breath in. Stay for that nice long breath out. Right leg lifts up and back behind you for a three-legged dog. Take an inhale here. Exhale to step your right foot in between the hands, runner's lunge. Hands either side of that right foot, bending into the right knee reaching towards the front of the room, left heel reaching towards the back of the room. Take a full round of breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Keep your left hand connected on the floor. On the side of the right foot, reach your right hand up to the sky for a twist. From here, we're coming into reverse Skandasana or Cleopatra. We're coming onto the pinky toe edges, the outer edges of our feet. We'll turn our toes to the right side of our mat. Keep the bend in the right knee. That's it. Right hand starts to reach towards the back of the room. Keep pressing strongly into that left hand. Stay here, or you might like to slowly let that outer left hip come down towards the mat, just as much as you're comfortable with. Getting a stretch through that outer line of the right leg. Stay with me. Let's be here for one more breath in. And stay for the breath out. Bring the right hand to the mat on the inside of the right foot this time. Come onto the ball of your left foot and heel toe that right foot all the way out to the edge of your mat. Setting ourselves up for a lizard lunge, we'll lower the right knee down and tuck the toes. Pressing through that left hand again, take your right hand to the inside of the right knee and open it away. Coming onto the outer edge of the right foot. Breathing into the space you're creating in your hips. Let's enjoy 3 more rounds of breath here. 2. 1 more. Big breath in. Big breath out. That's it. Right hand comes back to the mat. Bottom of the right foot on the mat. Tuck your left toes. Step back. Downward facing dog. Right foot steps to the back of the mat. We'll take that to the second side. Lift your left leg up to the sky. Breath in. 3-legged dog. Left foot steps all the way to the top of the mat, in between the hands for our runner's lunge. Hands either side of that left foot. Think about sending your left knee forward here, sending that right heel back, create space across the front of the hips. And then our right hand plants inside of the left foot, left hand reaches up to the sky for that easy twist. Pressing through that right hand. Keep as much space between that right ear and the right shoulder as you can. Into our reverse Skandasana or Cleopatra. Come to the outside edges of your feet. Toes turn towards the left this time. Left hand reaches towards the back of your mat. Stay here or slowly let that outer right hip come down towards the floor. Good. Take a big breath into your body. And a big breath out. Left hand comes back to the mat on the inside of that left foot, setting ourselves up for that lizard lunge. Heel toe left foot wide. Come onto the ball of your right foot and lower the right knee down. Untuck the right toes. Grounding down through that right hand once again, left hand to the inside of the left knee. Let the left knee open out to the side. Breathing into our hips here for 3 rounds of breath. Keep pressing through that right hand. Maybe you're on the outer edge of the left foot. Stay connected to your breath. We have 1 more round of breath here. Left hand back to the mat. Tuck your right toes. Lift the right knee and step the left foot back to find your downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, let the knees come down to the mat. Take the knees wide. Find that child's pose again. Hips go back towards the heels. Forehead comes down towards the floor. 3 rounds of breath. Finding your rhythm of breath. Focusing on the quality of that breath. After that 3rd round of breath, slowly meeting back in our downward facing dog. Come through your tabletop position. Bring the knees back underneath the hips. Tuck the toes. Lift the knees away from the mat. Take your hips up and back behind you. Coming into our pigeon pose, right leg lifts to the sky. Take a breath in. Right shin all the way to the top of your mat behind the hands. Place the right shin down. Lengthen the left leg back behind you. Come up onto your fingertips here. Lift the chest. Proud pigeon. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward over the right leg. You might come down onto your forearms. You might stack your fists here and bring the forehead to the fists, or maybe the forehead can come all the way down to the mat. Let's enjoy 5 to 6 rounds of breath here. Breathing into our outer right hip. Notice if you're clenching the jaw or pressing the tongue against the roof of your mouth. Inviting a softening into the muscles of the face. Unclench the jaw. Sometimes parts of our body like to get involved in poses that they don't need to be involved in. We have 2 more rounds of breath here. Bring your hands back to the mat. Walk the hands back in towards that front leg. Make your way back, downward facing dog. Take your right leg up and back behind you. Maybe find some movement, give it a little shake. Maybe take some circles with the knee. Anything that feels nice in the body here. Step the right foot down. Left leg lifts to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, left shin all the way to the top of the mat behind the hands. Lengthening that right leg back behind you. Take a moment to come up onto the fingertips. Lift the chest. Proud pigeon. Breath in. Exhale to come forward and down. Forearms. Forehead to the mat. Maybe stacking the fists. Visualize sending your breath into your outer left hip here. As you stay connected to your breath. Enjoying those 5 to 6 rounds of breath on this side. And slowly find the mat. Walking the hands in towards that front leg. Making your way back, downward facing dog. Stepping the left foot to the back of the mat. Finding some movement in that left leg if you need to. Take it up and back behind you. Shake the leg. Draw circles with the knee. Stepping the left foot down to meet the right. Taking a full round of breath here in our downward facing dog. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling back out of the nose. Slowly letting the knees come down to the mat. Finding child's pose one last time. Hips back to the heels. Forehead to the floor, or you might like to stack the hands here this round and bring the forehead to the backs of your hands. 3 rounds of breath. Mindfully making your way out of your child's pose, and will come to me in a comfortable seated position, taking an easy cross of the legs. Pressing the palms together in front of your heart. Taking a moment here to thank yourself for making this time in your day for you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.